kind of stuff. And in South Africa as well, it is not just black and white, black and black in particular. They still have problems among themselves. I think what I was saying here is that we develop, all of us, from olden days to today, and we'll always be saying to ourselves, let us be together, let us unite. We are not
the grounds of a palace. I'm very happy with our friends who for so many years have looked after the heritage, the grave sites, for many years on behalf of the nation and the Zulu royal family. We give you a great round of applause for such respect till this day. And we'd like Asmasukuphatha kabi noma ukuhlukumeza abantu bangaphandle.
The Zulu monarch used this platform to call for an end to the mistreatment of foreign nationals.
babuye babe ngabavoti eminyakeni emihlanu bahlonishwa abantu ngixolele esibone sijalo kungumsebenzi wami fanele ngikhulume mina engalinde eminyaka emihlanu ukuba ngikhuze uma konakala njengenkosi yesizwe samaZulu.
All right. Talk to us about the relationship between AfriForum and the Zulu King. Was it forged around the common position being opposed to land expropriation, or was there more to it than that?
Now, there was definitely more to it than that. You know, we will always remember Isilu Samabandla as a bridge builder, you know, that established good relationships between cultural communities. And we will, of course, especially remember the hand of friendship that that Isilu Samabandla extended to AfriForum and to Afrikaners in general. I think we shared also the vision of the importance of cultural identity, of traditions, of customs, and then of course also more contemporary things like the protection of property rights and the rights of communities to decide about their own property.
How can you say, we say to the Afrikaners they must go? No, I just said the problem began when Jan van Riebeeck came here.
Mashani, politically incorrect. This one, I don't want to give a lot of opinion on. All I want to do is just so you know, this is what people are saying. Just a footnote to understand. It's not only the current Zulu King. It's Jacob Zuma who has done this, and it's not only him, of course. When I say Jacob Zuma, the ANC has also have had relations with the Afrikaner community. But in the Zulu, of course, is King Goodwill Zwelithini, Mrs. Zulu. He's just working on what his father left off. But I just want you to watch the rest of this, and then afterwards what I'm going to do is I just want to go in and read the comments from other people, what other people have said. Mashene, let's listen. Thank you.
And joining forces with AfriForum will no doubt raise eyebrows and set tongues wagging. But Zulu King Goodwill Zwelithini Kabheka Zulu says he's strengthening his relationship with AfriForum, all in the name of agriculture and food production for all South Africans.
No engikhuluma ngawo uZulu ngeke ube khona uma singenakho ukudla. Yikho ngithi abalimi kabasondele ukuze sikwazi ukubonisana kwesingakwenza uma sikhuluma ngezolimo nokuba khona ukudla okwanele ezweni. Yikho ngicela iAfriForum yamabhuku ukuthi ayizoselekelela njengoba isizethulile kimi ukuthi imisela ukusebenza kanye nami nabantu bakababa sithuthukise ezolimo ezweni lethu ukuze sibe nokudla ngoba njengamanje uthe uhulumeni mayekhuluma ngendaba ye-expropriation of land without compensation amabhunu abeka phansi amathuluzi akukule South Africa.
With next year's general elections around the corner and KwaZulu-Natal set to influence the outcome, it would seem the Zulu monarch is using the land issue to sway the electorate and send a message to the government.
Ngithuma ngoJuly ngathi hambani niyothandaza ukuthi bonke ababhekene nami nani ngezwe uNkulunkulu akabenze baxabane bodwa baze bakhohlwane ukuthi baxabana. Namanje ngiyanithuma ngithi hambani niyothandaza engakafika ama-elections next year. Ofuna ukukhethwa yithi ngizokhuluma manje. Ofuna ukukhethwa yithi akazoguqa la ngamadoda asho ukuthi angisekube ngilithinta izwe lethu.
The king says he is still waiting for a follow-up meeting with President Cyril Ramaphosa to finalize their discussion on the land under the control of Ingonyama Trust.
My understanding is that in around 2018, AfriForum formed a sort of working group with the king around this issue of land expropriation. And his concerns were that land expropriation may lead to food security problems. I was wondering if you could just tell us how much progress you made, what sort of working together consisted of, and what you achieved through that process.
So, of course, most of our cooperation is relating to the land managed by the Ingonyama Trust, and we are currently working in a specific community to get an agricultural project started. Yes, but, you know, it's at such a time, I think, you know, we need to really reflect on a great man, you know, a man that was driven by devotion to his people, you know, and a real example, a true example of leadership. Yes, so and of course we want to, you know, to honor his memory.
Tell us a little bit more about the cultural bridges that he built. Give us a couple more examples.
Of course, anybody that had the massive privilege of spending some time with Isilu Samabandla would always know that he was always friendly. And if you especially speak to communities in KwaZulu-Natal, the different communities that reside there, for instance, the English-speaking community or the Indian community, the Afrikaner community, they will all tell you that he was a real, you know, a real bridge builder. Yes, you know, and in that respect, you know, of course, respect for others starts with respect for yourself. And if you want to build good relationships, you must, of course, do it on the basis of mutual recognition and respect. And I think Isilu Samabandla was just an excellent example of that. You know, it was in times like these, it's leaders of this caliber that we need.
And obviously now with his passing, it's a very, very sad time. Are you concerned that the position around land expropriation, and he was against it, do you think that that position may now change on the part of the Zulu nation, or is it just too early to say?
I think what is important to say is that cultural institutions, like the institution of traditional leadership and the institution of the Zulu monarchy, that kind of institutions brings balance to society. It balances the power balance between the state and between communities. If you've got unconnected individuals, you know, they are really exposed to misuse by the state. But if you've got organized communities and communities binded by cultural institutions, then of course you get a better balance of forces. And there's no doubt in our minds that the institution of traditional leadership and the monarchy of the Zulu nation will continue to play this very important role in the future of Southern Africa and communities.
Can you say, we say to the Afrikaners they must go? No, I just said the problem began when Jan van Riebeeck came here. That is not saying we don't want the Afrikaners. We have long recognized the fact that we live in this country, all of us. It is in the Freedom Charter. No ANC person can say what people should go here. There were some organization, political organization at some point, who were saying the white man must go into sea. We never bought that. Because we know people move in this world. You moved out of certain problems and landed here. And we accepted you with both hands. We are all South African citizens. We are a rainbow nation. And nobody will chase you away. We will fight against those who will say so. Because you belong here. So there must be no fear at all. I just want to make this point as clear. But we'll never stop talking about the history. Because our children must know where we come from. So that coming generations should not repeat the mistakes of the past.
King Misuzulu Kazwelithini, in the company of Amabuto, celebrated the life of his great-grandfather, Dinuzulu Kacetshwayo in Middelburg. This is the farm where the departed king of the Zulu nation, Dinuzulu, took his last breath 111 years ago. King Misuzulu says this commemoration helps strengthen the cultural bond between the Afrikaners and Zulus and also brings about collaboration that will bring about economic benefits.
As we engage in discussions, I hope we can explore mutual beneficial arrangements that will allow these royal grounds to serve as a significant tourism destination, enriching the lives of the local community. The Zulu royal family is prepared to discuss these ideas to work towards the future where what Thengisangaye holds a historical, cultural importance that can be shared with the rest of the world, while we also bring economic benefits to the people that we lead.
The king expressed his appreciation for the work done to preserve the gravesite of his great-grandfather.
For generations, the Zulus in KwaZulu-Natal have always referred to this place as the new Zululand. Let us remind each other that in our culture, a place where the king resides is always no doubtedly called a palace, which today we are in the grounds of a palace. I'm very happy with our friends who for so many years have looked after the heritage, the grave sites for many years on behalf of the nation and the Zulu royal family. We give you a great round of applause for such respect till this day. And we'd like to thank you on myself as the king and leader and head of the House of Zulu. I would like to thank you for that good deed.
AfriForum and the Mpumalanga provincial government have made a commitment to develop this area and create economic opportunities.
We are already involved in a number of agricultural projects with, amongst others, the Amabele community in the Eastern Cape, also the Barlong-Buseleka in the Free State. And we hope that we can expand that also to work with Zulu communities. We look at agricultural projects such as indigenous goat projects, such as the planting of vegetables and other seed-related agricultural products. So hopefully we can let this just grow and grow in the future.
Today is not about the AfriForum. It's about the history and the heritage, which part of our mandate as the Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation in Mpumalanga is to ensure that we preserve. We also ensure that these cultural sites are also being taken care of. Indeed, we will not have a budget, but it would be a great means of collaboration and ensuring that such an area create a vibe of knowledge and education, because the history of King Dinuzulu it's a maximum history, as the AfriForum people are talking about it. And indeed, it must create an environment of a museum where we're saying...
Okay, here it is. I'm going to try to read the comments. When reading the comment, just bear with me. I'm going to avoid reading the Zulu comments out of respect, because I don't want to butcher Zulu words. Between Zulu people and the Afrikaner, he says, despite the turbulent history, there are individuals who recognize the dignity and the rights of Zulu kings and stood against forces that undermined their authority. Consequence of having an IFP government, Umkhonto we wouldn't take this king to the AfriForum nonsense. Well, I don't know, because like I said, and you would have seen, Zulu King has done it before him, his father, in the ANC. So I don't know if, but this is in reference, of course, with the previous podcast I did about the importance of having, right next to the president, of having these kings and traditional leaders, and of course the religious leaders next to Jacob Zuma. So if they do take power, they will be controlling. What will he do? I do not know. The reference of IFP, of course, is the fact that Buthelezi Ushenge was the prime minister and he was the chief advisor. Now the chief advisor, of course, is Buthelezi, but you'll see the other comments about Ukaja in the comments list. Zulu people are the biggest house ninjas, sellouts of note. You're listening to our king praising oppressors for forming alliances after they brutally took our land and mineral resources. The land issue will never be resolved. Okay, Dr. Sweet says, why are Amazulu being hostile and disrespectful to their king? Uncalled for. He must punish all of you for doing so. So Dr. Sweet says, it's Muhali says the Zulu King must punish all people of Zulu descent who are saying these bad things about the king. Another playman says, and then you cry white supremacy while your superiors play with their kids. Madness. Aristotle God. Oh, how absolutely heartwarming. King Mrs. Zulu and AfriForum coming together in what must be the feel-good event of the century. Who knew that celebrating the legacy of King Dinuzulu would be the bridge over troubled waters between the Zulu nation and the Afrikaners? It's almost like history script has been flipped to a buddy movie where everyone learns a lesson about mutual respect by the end credits. And here we are, learning that missed all the... okay, let me do it again. And here we are, learning that amidst all the turbulent history, there were indeed some shining examples of solidarity. Truly, it's a plot twist no one saw coming, but everyone apparently needed. Well, I disagree with this. No one saw it coming. It has never been a secret that there were big ties between the Zulu kingdom and the Afrikaners. It was never a secret. Like you've seen the videos. I've never seen a stupid king of Zulus like this. Disgrace. This guy owned by Stellenbosch. This clip itself is not making sure that, no, this one is making a reference to a clip that he posted on the comments line. was Daisa Misu Zulu. Okay, so let me just give a bit of background. So what I did, I just went to Twitter, and under the headline, I scrolled through all the comments just so I can crop them and then show you. Of course, there are many comments on Facebook, Twitter. This one is from Twitter. Yeah, other media comment. There are a lot of comments. I just chose these ones. So if you want to go through your own list, you can just go and follow the story. You'll find the comments. I think the other brother tried to warn us. Time will listen to him and support him. Zulu Nation is in trouble and many are not aware. The king is not make sure. He's moving awkwardly nowadays. First with the foreigners, now this. His advisors need serious straight whip. The Boers never took any Zulu land. Most that they occupied were given by the Zulu kings as reward. The king shouldn't sugarcoat history. To make you all comfortable, the alliance between the Boers and the Zulus is a historical fact. Well, of course. I hate what I'm hearing about diplomatic ties between Boers and the Zumpis. Makes nar. Yo. Hey, they were used by the very same Boers to kill their own. Hence, DA also come closer to IFP. The intention of the white is to cause civil war in future. Sellouts are out to protect Afrikaners. FCR 17 and Glencore offshoot accounts bribery. Even some of us aren't surprised. Zulus were used by apartheid government to kill blacks. Right-wingers and King Zwelithini signed a pledge to work together if things turned worse in 1994. I don't mind the king honoring the invitation. He has to be neutral. He has to be neutral, and regardless of whether it's AfriForum or any other party, they are all his subjects. They recognize him as their king, and that's why he was invited. I don't see anything wrong with that. Well, do Afrikaners see him as their king? I don't know. This is alleged by Andre Tabete. People need to deal with their emotions and end their racism and hatred. Build on unity and end division. By the way, that is James Bond. By the way, if you want to pause this and read it yourself, you are mostly welcome to do that. As soon as we normalize not calling them as part of Africans to Afrikaners. Let me do it again. As soon as we normalize to not call them as the part of Africans to Afrikaners, and they will never be. Once we start call them Boer Forum or Dutch Forum, this will put them in a good spot and position of what they represent. So please don't call them Africans. They are not. They are Dutches. I'm disappointed with what the king is saying. King Mpande formed an alliance with the Boers to defeat Isilo, Sase Umgungundlovu, and that was then. What alliance is he talking about in the current economic and political context? And of what benefit have they been to our people? This thing of bringing Zulu Nation in disrepute. Oh, okay. No, let me read that again. This thing is bringing Zulu Nation into disrepute. I don't have any respect for this thing. What a shame. I'm lost for words there. What has the alliance produced since its inception? At this point, I don't know what these demons have to do to show that they are not with us, and they never will. We all know that when they call up for Cape independence, all you do call for Zulu independence. That's the relationship. His uncle Buthelezi murdered people here in Gauteng in partnership with the apartheid government. That's how IFP became a Zulu party with illegal firearms, which they would fire in broad daylight during apartheid with no consequences. Typical. This is a sellout. Zulu King has been captured for many years. Original sellouts. There will be back pay. There will be payback day. AfriForum doesn't like black people. This nonsense is not my king. This is Hugo Masondo. I still say the land was not taken by force. Some people gave it away for riches. I just note that AmaZulu are white people. This is a clip coming from Penwell. Humanity failed Palestine. That's the name of a person. He says they've always been apartheid collaborators, these ones. Haike lahamba izwe ilanga libalele. I tried. Okay, let me translate that. So he says the land has gone in broad daylight. Should I attempt this one? Was liar ukamatole was nigger. No, please let me jump this Zulu one. He was supposed to tell them to come to him, not this. So this is in reference because they did not go to him. They went to 8 Cake in Mpumalanga. Let me so this is the significance of him honoring the place where King Zulu died in 8 Cake after he was released by PM Botha. So I think it was a commemoration of the place, and Mpumalanga cultural government cultural representative was there to announce how they are going to make that place, the significance of making that place into an economic spin-off and tourism and stuff. I think this is the reason he was there, and they did not come to him. Not that they don't go to him, I bet they do. A lot of people go there. The gesture of this king is distasteful. He was supposed to speak in isiZulu. This king though, that is Showmax. Personal gain for him personal gain for him, he should have wrote an email. Look, I battle with reading, and when I battle with reading, if people have written it in a bad way without I battle as well. It just makes my bad reading even worse. We are used to these Zulu people. We killed our people in apartheid times for impressing whites. Just imagine the whole king, while AfriForum, the racist thing in SA. You see why and how Zulu history is well documented. Kodwa sikho lapho. Monarchy has indeed become useless and has evolved from what it was. Even now, the kings express themselves in English. A whole ethnic king, disgrace. Even the winds is annoyed by this nonsense. Great work must unite, not divide. So that is Hendrik Pinaar. So Hendrik Pinaar, with his picture there, he must be an Afrikaans because these names are both Afrikaans, and he looks white. It's time all Boers become Zulus, not Afrikaners. Like all who live in Swaziland, Lesotho are called. Well, if you go back to one of the best clips coming from the Shaka Zulu, the old Shaka Zulu movie or TV series, played by Henry Cele, of course. He speaks about when you want these people to unite and form one government. What do you mean? I'm just trying to relate what he says. Is it going to be Zulu, white, Zulu, white, or is it going to be Zulu, 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 then white, 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 white? By that context, it was meaning that are we going to unite really, or you're going to live in your separate place? I live in a separate place, but we live in the same country. It came out in apartheid, and that clip was said to be removed, was cut out from the movie in South Africa, but in other countries that thing played. So great work must unite and not divide. So you will understand what Hendrik and Temba are saying. It's time all Boers become Zulus, not Afrikaners. Just reminds me of what Shaka, king of the Zulus, have said. But of course, that is a dramatic version of what he could have said, or because we do not know. It's a dramatized version. How times change. A Zulu king honored by oppressors restore Mthatha kingdom in its rightful place. On this one, it is an embarrassing king by Yeti Dude. I've always maintained that this is a fake king who is put in place fraudulently. No Zulu king will do this. He's puguless. Where are those individuals now? The enemy is trying to be human. Zulus were always sellouts, Afrikaner apartheid collaborators. It's okay, but the strategy way out of sorts. Step further to 3 must stop smoking socks. Okay, Mzansi number 1 is making reference to the Zulu king having married a woman who has 3 kids as a stepfather. So he's just casting aspersions there. Icon, that certificate from GNU, look now. So that certificate, they are referring to what Ramaphosa gave to the Zulu king, a certificate of recognizing him as a king. But of course, it went back to court and it was revoked, and they were sent to come and redo the whole process. Can I please jump this Zulu comment? Gaja has multiplied. That's the Mutaung. So Gaja has multiplied. They're just talking about the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi having multiplied, meaning the new Shenge who has taken over, he has just multiplied himself. So they don't see any change. The king is stupid. The throne is vacant. Bagolo ba fela ba re ntshaba di dimfana. Chaba madi dimfana. Collected temporary manners. Maybe let me translate what T. Mashilwane says. So T. Mashilwane, who is a Makofani 89, says bagolo ba fela ba re ntshaba di dimfana. I don't know how to translate it, but he says in the elders used to say, remove the poor. I don't know what he means by that. Collected temporary mirrors. This is a reflection to what people say. They showed people those mirrors and they were given land. So this is what it's supposed to mean. King Wisuzulu. I don't know what he means by that. They all have agreements. Of course, they've got agreements. Lomfana Ramaphosa wethu. Bayede dog. Bayede dog, it's a nickname, social media nickname of his followers who call him Bayede dog. Bayede, it's a contemporary way of praising the Zulu king. And then I could be wrong by all of these things, because there's context of what it originally meant. Balete, and it ended up in Bayete. I am not sure about it, and I don't want to dwell a lot on it. So, but when he says Bayete dog, he's referring to, he's praising the Zulu king. Now, he could be being sarcastic, but I'm not sure. But he's just praising the Zulu king. Isilo Sase Orania. Orania is a place in South Africa where, for those who know, please bear with me, but this thing might be read by people who may not know what Orania is. Isilo Sase Orania, he's just saying the king of Orania. Orania is a place where only Afrikaner people live in South Africa. It's an Afrikaans conclave. Fake Zulu king. Really, was it necessary? This Zulu king is very weak. From today, Mrs. Zulu is not my king. Laugh out loud. He's in his element. The king losing the point, Shem. And now they are showing Caesar Michael Romanov is showing his brother, the eldest king, the eldest son to the late Zulu king, who is actually, as we speak, in contest with him for to be heir to the throne. Now that's his picture there at the bottom. Someone says, someone is puking, embarrassing, disgrace, big laughter. F that useless moron. Is he not embracing illegal immigrants? If he's not embracing illegal immigrants, he's the same bed with racists. Someone says cis, S-I-S. So cis, they do not mean him as a sister or as a sissy. Cis is just a phrase of disgust in South Africa. Kobani Nzongana. He says, King Misuzulu's great-great-grandfather was loyal to the Boers. His father, the majestic King Zwelithini, signed a memorandum of understanding with the AfriForum. So the king is not doing anything new. The Zulu Prime Minister, Prince Buthelezi, was a darling of apartheid government. So this is Kalikril. Kalikril is the, for lack of a better word, he's the leader of AfriForum. Today marks the beginning of a new era in cooperative relationship between Zulus and Afrikaners. His Majesty King Misuzulu Zwelithini indicated today that he will engage in talks with AfriForum to promote grassroots level cooperation, just as Generals Lucas Meyer and Louis, and then people are not having it. Zulu King Misuzulu stopped being a Zulu King when he was bestowed secret society loyal ring. So this is the ring that Thabo Mbeki and other people are wearing. Very controversial ring. That one, people don't love it. It is white terrorist organization that advances segregation, white barbarism and backwardness. Zulus do not have a king here. So that's it. So those are the comments. There are many others. I just wanted to make it short, and this is where you so who's Kalikril? Kalikril is the person who have launched a campaign against Lissufi, and he even blocked Panyaza Lissufi on his account, and Panyaza says it's all fine. So so this is what it is. So please just continue listening to what others could have said or want to say. Mashane politically incorrect. Comment, let's hear what you say.
Asimasukuphatha kabi noma ukuhlukumeza abantu bangaphandle.
The Zulu monarch used this platform to call for an end to the mistreatment of foreign nationals. King Misuzulu Zwelithini addressed scores of supporters who gathered at Stanger High School sports field to commemorate Heritage Day.
Singabashayi. Masenze kanjalo niyobona Zulu mnyama angeke besinikeze inkinga laba bantu. Ngoba okubalekile uba sikhumbule ukuthi nabo bangabantu abazonilwana.
He said gun violence in KwaZulu-Natal also remains a major issue.
Ngiyabona nani senikhathele ulokhu ningizwa ngikhala ngalobu bugebengu obunesibhamu phakathi ukuthi ziphuma phela lezi ibhamu ezingaka futhi zikulesi sifundo. Namaphoyisa akhathele ukubulala abantu manje. Ake niyeke isizwe sikaMageba lokhu akusifanele kusidumisa kabi.
KwaZulu-Natal is one of the provinces leading the figures for such criminal offences. The situation has got out of hand to the point that even politicians believe it will take consistent anti-GBV conversations to ultimately reap change.
It can't be for one day. I think the fight against women abuse should be a daily message, especially sent to other males by us as males, because the problem is when we delegate this responsibility to women themselves, because they don't really victimize themselves. We are the ones as males who victimize our women. So therefore, we need to create platforms where we engage in dialogues around what is the problem. Why are we taking this anger? Because clearly there is anger amongst males in this country.
Whilst the issue of GBV and crime still plagues this province, we are still reminded that Heritage Day still holds a significant role.
The core is we remember who we are. We can't even say back to our roots because we have never left our roots. You can see we speak the same language, we speak other language. We are all from Africa. Even other nationalists come here, even other race groups come here. You find them try and sort of have beadwork. Even us, we try and be similar to them.
Deputy Prime Minister of the Zulu Nation puts all his faith in this day and bringing about social cohesion and putting an end to xenophobia.
In the province of KwaZulu-Natal, there is this thing called xenophobia. If you look at it, it's not even a xenophobia, it's an Afrophobia, because you never see anyone attacking other people except the African attacking each other. That's what His Majesty the King was stressing last week, that must come to a stop.
Recently, KZN Premier Tami Ntuli sent a stern warning to illegal immigrants and business owners who offer them jobs, which sparked mixed reactions, with some accusing the KZN government of being xenophobic.
Okuyothi noma ngo-1994 bathole inkululeko kuthi ngo-2015 kukhulunywa ngendaba ukuthi abantu base-South Africa abantu abangafuni ukulalela, abantu abangafuni ukusebenza, abantu abangamasela, abantu abadlwengula iy'ngane, abantu abagqekeza imizi, abantu abangamavili abangafuni ukulima, abantu okuyothi uma bebukwa ngezinye izizwe zithi azihambe ziyodla ifa ley'phukuphuku. Khuluma nje phambi kwethu kulenga yonke into ongayazi amaningineko ongawazi angingcolisa iy'talati zethu awusazi ukubona isitolo ukuthi lesi sitolo kwakuyisitolo bani kuvimbe nje abantu bokufika. Ngiyazi kwenye inkathi kulukhuni kwabanye osopolitiki ukukhuza imhlolo ngoba phela laba benzi bobubi babuye babe ngabavoti eminyakeni emihlanu bahlonishwa abantu ngiyongixolela esibone esinjalo kuwumsebenzi wami wale nkulumo mina engalinde eminyaka emihlanu ukuba ngikhuze umabonakala njengenkosi yesizwe samazulu yesizwe sihlonishwa umhlaba wonke ngeqhaza laso emzabalazweni wokukhululeka kwe-Afrika. Ngeke ngithule izwe lethu lihlala abantu abangenambono. Kufika isikhathi manje kuba sibe nombono. Ngiyacela mina uhulumeni wakithi South Africa akasilekelele. Asenwaye iy'ntwala zethu, asithobezele iy'ntwala ey'phukweni zethu. Amazeze kasikhiphe sibeke laphaya elangeni ayiqashela amazeze ngenxa yokushisa kwelanga. Siyacela abantu bokuhamba bathathe imithwalo yabo babuyisele ukuze Stalela. Nani nathi nisemazweni abo nani sempini nabelekelela nakuba bakhululeke emazweni abo ngiyakwazi lokho. Yingakho amanye amazwe akhululeka ngoba elekelelwa yilabo bephumile abangamasosha ezomzabalazo eNingizimu Afrika. Angaze nilengise nithengise lutho. Bahlonishwa abantu. Nathi asiye nje emazweni abo ngokuvakasha. Singafika bese sihlala bese kubasekhaya siyazi ukuthi kusemakhaya. Kepha asibonelelwe bakithi.